Hello. Hi, first grade. All right. So this week, in both reading and writing, we're working on nonfiction text. So just a reminder that nonfiction is real. So when we think of fiction versus nonfiction, fiction is something that's there to teach us something. It gives us information. So we are going to be working on nonfiction text features. So this should be a review for a lot of us, everyone. So we're going to go over the text features again that we see in a nonfiction text, and then I'm going to show you in a book. Now, if you're like me, I didn't have any nonfiction books at home. I think most of you probably do have one, just because I know a lot of you picked out a nonfiction book at our very own library when you got to pick out 3 books to take home. So I think a lot of you picked a nonfiction book at that time, but I am going to, on the Google Doc, there are a couple links of different nonfiction books that will look like the one I'm showing you today that you can use for your activity. So if you don't have a nonfiction book at home, that's all right. I'm linking some for you to read on the computer. And today, you're really more focusing on identifying text features, not necessarily reading the story. So keep that in mind as well. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. So what we got first here is our nonfiction text features. Now, this is an anchor chart that maybe we would make together in class. Parents, I know that it's really small on the Google Doc, so you can always open another document and copy and paste it into that, and that might be a little bit easier to read. This is what I copied it into, just a blank Google Doc, so that I could talk to you about some of the things we see. Okay, so nonfiction text features gives us important information, and it helps us understand the text. It also makes it more fun. So it makes a nonfiction text more appealing to the eye. It makes it really well organized, so that we're able to find all the information that we want very quickly. So text features kind of really help us with that. All right, here we go. So here are some of the text features that we're going to be looking at today and the rest of the week. So we have a photograph. So a photograph often has a caption, and a caption is what explains what's in the photo. So we know that not every nonfiction book is just going to have photos. Some of them are also going to have realistic drawings. So when I say realistic drawings, I mean drawings that have been done to look very real. So there's a difference between a cartoon-looking dog and a real-looking dog. Both can be drawings. So in nonfiction text, there often can be drawings, but they're very realistic looking. You're not going to have a dog with big bug eyes in a nonfiction text, because that's not real. Okay, so we have a photograph or a drawing, and then a caption to explain what the photo is of. Okay, we also have a glossary. A glossary happens at the end of a book, and it gives us definitions to the words that maybe we don't know. So maybe scientific words that we're not used to using, words that explain animals or plants, or weathers. I was gonna say weather phenomenon. Things that maybe we're not super familiar with that scientists can teach us about. Okay. Then we also have in the middle here a diagram. So I love this choice that they made. They chose to put the pumpkin life cycle as the choice of diagram. I don't think we normally talk about it as a diagram when we think of life cycles or different things like that, but this is a diagram, and most nonfiction stories are going to have a diagram somewhere in the book. Then over here we have a heading. A heading is what really captures our eye, so we know what we're getting ready to read about on the rest of the page. So this one says, what happens in a flood? Well, I know that on that page I'm going to read about what happens in a flood, not the dog's fur, right? I mean, that's what the heading is for. It tells us what we're getting ready to read about. Then we have a map. A lot of nonfiction stories are going to have a map to show you what area of the world they're talking about. And that kind of just gives us a more general sense of, you know, what we're looking at here. And then we have the labels. When we think about diagrams, or we think about photographs, or we think about really realistic drawings, a lot of times we're going to label the parts that are on that picture. So I know it's really hard to see. I don't know if I can zoom in. Oh, look at that, I did it. But this is a picture of a bat, or a drawing, I should say, of a bat, and it has different things labeled on it. So that kind of helps us get a better idea of different parts of the bat. And then we also have the table of contents, and the table of contents is going to be at the very beginning of a nonfiction story, and it's going to tell you exactly where to find the information that you're looking for and what page it's on. So if we think we're opening up a book about weather, and chapter 1 is thunderstorms, chapter 2 is tornadoes, chapter 3 is blizzards, chapter 4 is hurricanes, I know that if I want to learn about blizzards, I can go exactly to where that page is, and when I open it up, that's where all the information about blizzards is going to be. So I don't have to read the whole book if I just want to know about blizzards. Okay? All right. So these are different text features that we're going to be working on. There are more. Something that's not on here are like bolded words or words that are in italic or highlighted. So there are other text features that we see in nonfiction text that you will notice when you go through your own nonfiction text, but these are kind of the main ones that you see in almost every nonfiction story. So I'm gonna go to a nonfiction story today, oops, not at the front, called Firefighters. So I know immediately, based on the title of this book and based on the picture on the front, that this is gonna be a book about firefighters. And I chose this book because Tuesday was National Firefighter Day. So, or not Tuesday, Monday. Today's Tuesday, sorry. So Monday, yesterday, was National Firefighter Day. So just thought that was kind of a fun connection. So we see right here that we already have a text feature. We already have a picture. This is a real picture of real firefighters and real fire, okay? All right, now I am gonna make my picture a little bit smaller because I'm not as important as the words. If I can do it, there we go. Okay, so right here we have a title page. And then the first thing I see right here is a table of contents. So now I'm at 2 text features that we've already identified. Table of contents is going to tell us exactly where we can go to learn about different things. So the introduction, what makes fire burn, kinds of fires, firefighting tools, firefighting machines, becoming a firefighter, the conclusion, and the glossary. So I really want to know about firefighter tools. So I'm going to go to page 7. And that shows me right here that is where I'm going to learn about firefighter tools. So I'm going to look at my little numbers at the bottom. It's a little different than a book setup just because I am looking at it online. And I see down here I'm at page 7. So I'm at firefighter tools. So I'm going to read, and I notice another text feature, and that text feature is a heading. Okay, so it's telling me that what I'm getting ready to read about is the firefighter tools. So it says firefighters use many different tools. They use hoses to spray water or foam on fires. They break down doors with axes. They use ladders to reach high places. Down here, smoke masks protect firefighters from smoke. Fans move smoke from rooms. Fire extinguishers can put out small fires. So that was a ton of information about different tools that firefighters use. All of it was true. None of it was made up. None of it's fiction. It's all nonfiction text. So a couple of different text features I notice on this page. We have our heading at the top where it tells us what we are reading and what we are learning about. For some reason, it's no longer letting me highlight. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. And then we also have our pictures. So we have real pictures. This is a real picture of firefighter tools, a real picture of a firefighter. And then these little itty bitty words right here I see, those are labels. So our picture, instead of having a big description about what we're looking at, it went ahead and it labeled all the things for us. So that's another text feature that I can see just on this one page. So we have an axe, we have a hose, a fire extinguisher, a smoke mask, a hose, did I say that? A hose and an air tank, okay? So like 4 text features on this one page, and there's one more. So right here, we have this word in bold, and it's the word spray. They use hoses to spray water or foam on fires. So that word spray is in bold. Why do we think that word spray is in bold? that word spray is in bold is because they're going to give us a definition to that word. The word spray might be a word that we're not super used to. It's not a word we use all the time. Maybe we aren't sure what it means. Well, where can I find where that word spray is going to be defined? And that is our glossary. And if I remember at the table of contents back at the beginning of our book, our glossary is on page 16. So I'm going to go to page 16 so I can learn more about this word spray that's in bold. So I'm going to scroll down. Oh gosh, look at these cool photos. Focus, Mrs. Overish. Here we go. So I'm at page 16. I'm at the glossary, trying to highlight. I don't know why it's being so difficult with me today. There we go. So we're at the word glossary, and I come down here and I see there's lots of different words that are in bold. And look, here's our word spray. And it tells me, wow. Okay, I'm trying to highlight it. It doesn't want me to. And it tells me what page I found it on. So right here, it says I found it on page 7, which was where we read about firefighting tools. And it tells me what it means. So the word spray means to sprinkle or force out liquid in a mist or many small drops. Okay, so it tells me about something or about a word that maybe I didn't know about. Okay, so lots of different text features just in this one book. As you can see, I'm not going through and reading the whole thing. I just wanted to know about firefighter tools. So I read that one part about firefighting tools. And that's the best part about nonfiction text, is it gives you so much information about one topic. But if you just want to know about something super specific, like the tools firefighters use, then our table of contents and our text features help us find that information very quickly. All right, so what you're going to do right now is I'm going to go back, wrong thing, to here. And you are going to go to a nonfiction text. So that means either a book that you have at home that you know is nonfiction. It can be a book on Epic. We know there are books on Epic that have nonfiction text. Or it can be one of the books that I linked on our Google Doc. So there's a book about animals that live in the city, a book about animals that live in the country, and there's 2 others. My brain's drawing a blank, but that's okay. So you can pick some of the nonfiction text that I linked on our Google Doc if you want to look at it the way we looked at our firefighting book. And you are going to find 2 text features in the nonfiction book you choose. So what I want you to do is pick. So if I were to go into this table of contents page, I'm sorry, firefighting page, I would say I found the table of contents. And I know that I found the table of contents because it lists the different topics that the book is going to tell me about. And it's on page 3. So you need to tell me the text feature that you found, and then also where did you find it and how do you know that that's that text feature. Okay, so I would say that I found the table of contents on page 3, and it tells me about the different topics that I'm going to read about. Okay, maybe I would say I found labels on page 6, and it labeled the different tools that firefighters use. Okay, so you're going to pick just 2 text features. Most of the nonfiction books, you'll see almost all of these. So just pick 2 that you can identify quickly and that you know for sure that that's a photograph or a heading or a diagram, and let me know where you found it in the book and how you know it's that text feature. Okay. All right, first grade, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck as always. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you later. Bye. Only here I am again, so not bye.